257 to the arrest team, stand by.
Nikki Stain.
Hi.
Put your hands behind your back.
Turn around, man.
I kept a list. That's how practical I was about things. I needed someone to split the rent, and I wasn't going to leave it to chance. I interviewed people. I wrote down names. I was a Fresno State student with plans, audiology, a career, a future that had a shape to it. I was the kind of person who made lists because I believed the next thing was coming, and I wanted to be ready for it. His name was on that list. Nick. Or maybe Rick. It was hard to tell the way it was written. Scratched out a little. Just a first name and a phone number. And the memory of a conversation I'd had with someone who seemed ordinary enough to make the list in the first place. That's the part that never leaves me. He seemed ordinary.
I have suffered days, months, and years of pain. 29 Christmases and almost 29 birthdays. The first thing you think of when you wake up is, Deb is dead. How do you live when a joy of your life has been extinguished?
She then read a passage that she had written from Debbie's perspective.
Adrenaline flooded my body. I screamed and screamed, but he didn't stop. He wrapped my head in duct tape, covering my mouth. I couldn't breathe. Everything went dark. I knew my life was over. I would never take a hike with John, the love of my life, spend time with my mom. I wouldn't have a wedding. I wouldn't be a beautiful bride. My dad wouldn't walk me down the aisle. I knew my death would break my mom's heart and change my dad forever. The pain that they suffer is deeper than anyone can know.
Despite the tragic circumstances, she ended her impact statement with a silver lining.
Though he took my precious Deb, he did not take my soul. I am wiser and stronger than ever from having to go through this ordeal. He has the rest of his life to pay for what he did, and he will pay for his evil actions.
I was 22 years old. I was studying hard. I had a boyfriend named John, the love of my life, my mom would say later, and she was right. I had plans that stretched forward in the way plans do when you're young enough to believe time is something that keeps arriving. I wasn't afraid of much. You aren't at 22, when you're doing everything right, and the future feels like something you're building one decision at a time. My dad found me. He came to my apartment because I hadn't shown up somewhere, and nobody could reach me. He let himself in. He found me in my bedroom. I was lying face up. He said it was so shocking that he had to maintain composure, that he knew he couldn't just fall apart. He had to stand there and maintain composure in the room where his daughter was dead. I think about that more than almost anything else. My mouth and nose had been taped shut with great duct tape. I couldn't breathe. That's how it ended. Not quickly. Not without knowing what was happening. I knew. My mother wrote it from my perspective years later, standing at a podium in a courtroom, and she got it right. The adrenaline, the screaming, the moment everything went dark. She knew me well enough to write my last moments in my own voice. I hope she knew how much that meant.
Hi, is Mr. Stain in?
Mr. Stain?
Yes. Hi, I'm Mr. Stain. My name is Vince Zavala. It's Bob Sodas. We're doing some grunt work here. We're looking into a matter that happened a while ago. Take 5 minutes. Okay. That's fine. Have you ever seen that girl? Nope. Nope. You don't know her? Okay. You've never committed any violence against her?
No, I haven't done anything. I don't know her, so I wouldn't know how to.
Yeah. So have you never committed violence against anybody?
No violence against anybody.
Her name was Debbie Dorian. She was found murdered. You didn't kill her, did you?
No.
We've been asking everybody we talked to if they would voluntarily give us an oral swab to compare to evidence that's at this scene. But if you haven't been there, I mean, it's just kind of a mundane thing.
Yeah, it sounds like, I don't know. That sounds like, I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, I hope you find them.
I hope we do catch the guy, and thank you. Have a good day. 257 to the arrest team, stand by.
Nikki Stain.
Hi.
Put your hands behind your back.
Turn around, man.
Nick pretended he had no idea what was going on as he was handcuffed and put into the back of a police cruiser. Months before this arrest, Fresno and Tulare County authorities reopened the murder case of 22-year-old Debbie Dorian, which had remained unsolved for 23 years.
Go ahead, ma'am. My husband just called and went to his daughter's apartment. She didn't show, and he found her dead in her apartment. Okay, tell me what your daughter's name is. Her name is Deborah Dorian.
Family members and neighbors say Debbie Dorian, a Fresno State student, worked hard and had plans to specialize in audiology. According to police, Debbie's dad found her body in her bedroom early this morning.
She was lying face up. Her mouth and nose had been taped shut with some gray-colored tape that prevented her from breathing.
They had DNA from the scene. 23 years, and they had his DNA the whole time. What they didn't have was a name to attach it to. He had walked out of my apartment and gone back to his life, his job, his Facebook alias, his converted bedroom, his 400 videos of 100 different women. He moved to Visalia. He managed a Philly cheesesteak restaurant in a mall. He coached his kids. He smiled at customers. For 23 years, he was just a man with a secret.
Nick, do you know why you're here today?
Yeah, I do know why I'm here. I know I've done a couple things that here in Visalia that I shouldn't have done.
So when you say a couple things in Visalia, what are the couple things that you're talking about?
Oh, there's a couple times that I approached women that out on the street that, and stuff and coerced them into having some fun. And so those are things I shouldn't have done.
Against their will?
Yes.
Suspect pulled sweatshirt over his face and then placed handgun in her side. He escorted the victim and concealed their location behind some bushes.
That might have happened. I think that one happened.
She was standing alone waiting to catch a bus. Suspect approached the victim. Suspect told the victim not to run or he would kill her.
I say that sounds like me, but I don't think that was me.
Do you recall what you wore during those?
I recall wearing a hoodie. This was something I had.
When they asked Nick why he would commit such vile crimes, he said that his past trauma had led him down the wrong path.
So, I kind of had some bad things that go on in my life, and I could say that I've had a problem with I guess, their addiction. If you have my phone, you'll be able to see that because it has like 400 videos on it. Oh, probably 100 different women.
Nick's addiction resulted in a strange lifestyle where everything he did revolved around getting attention from women. This is evident when looking at his digital footprint. The detectives found his secret Facebook profile under the alias Nick Steele, the chairman of a Fortune 500 company who lived a lavish lifestyle, drinking and partying with a multitude of women. Nick would often invite these women back to his place and lead them to his bedroom, which he had converted into what some may call a playroom.
I had saw pictures of those types of rooms, dark rooms, on the internet. I said I wanted to paint it that way. Now everybody sees it. Says
Yeah,
it's great. But I had so many encounters with women. I'm talking about like paid for encounters or this or that, or like start chatting with them, and then all the next thing we know, we're doing something. To tell you the truth, I don't really think that hiring an escort or having a sugar babe or anything like that, I personally don't think that that's a wrong thing. I'm a single guy for the last 2 years, and it seems like that really the only women that pay me any attention are the younger ones. I was with that girl, several times and stuff like that.
You were?
Yes, I was. So, to be honest with you, she was, I picked her up in Fresno there on the street there at one time. After I dropped her off, I thought that was going to be the last time I seen of her. Okay. And then she, found her way to my workplace, on other occasions and asked me if I, would want to again.
Detective Garcia's the interview with Alvin. What did you do when you went there?
I knocked on the door, she invited me in.
What time was it that you got there?
It was 6, 7. He told me something about the door knob. Do you remember what that was? On Wednesday night, I knocked on the door. Nobody answered. The blinds were open. The TV was on. Something what I could see on the wall. And then when I knocked on the door, nobody answered. I tried the door. Like 4 times, the door was unlocked.
So you've never seen this girl, don't know what she looks like, never talked to her?
No, not from all this started happening at first. I never seen her or just heard her voice on the phone. And then recently, like when we were talking, I've seen a picture on the news.
They arrested someone else first, Maurice Dixon, a man who had nothing to do with what happened to me. He sat in custody for 2 weeks before they retested the DNA and realized they had the wrong person. His family stood outside the courthouse and said, "We know there is someone out there who committed this crime." The city is afraid again. It's hard on her family because they have to go through it again. My mother said it was like pulling a scab off a wound. They had to start over. And Nick went back to his life for another 23 years.
I think I have a receipt for it in my checkbook. I bought 2 things of duct tape to tie up the ends of the rope.
Our investigation is that you were the one that did this.
No, I am not the one who did this. I have nothing to do with this at all. How many times I had to keep telling you I did not go inside this apartment? I do not know this person. I never met her.
Maurice, you have to understand something. Okay, you're under arrest for murder.
As legal proceedings got underway, it seemed that the police investigation into Debbie's killer was over.
An arrest was made in the death of Deborah Dorian.
I think it's great. I mean, hopefully it's the right person.
He walked up the stairs. He basically knocked on the door, and it wasn't a confrontational kind of encounter, but she let him in.
Also, Maurice had an explanation for why he brought up the duct tape during his interview.
What made you mention that? Somebody mentioned duct tape or something like that. Do you have any duct tape, or do you know anything about duct tape or something? When was that? That was when I first came to question.
Maurice Dixon walked into court shackled at the hands and feet. He had been in custody for a little more than 2 weeks. Tonight, he is free, and the investigation into the Debbie Dorian murder case returned to square one.
Right now, we don't want to comment at anything at this time. We're just happy that he's being released.
Although this was good news for Maurice and his family, they were well aware of what this meant for Debbie's family and the rest of the community.
We know that there's someone out there that have committed this crime, and basically the city is afraid again. We know it's hard on her family also, because they have to go through it again, waiting to see who they may arrest next.
Every time something like this happens, it's like pulling the scab off a wound.
Our future's been taken away. We will not see a wedding. We will not see grandchildren. She will not get to have a life. The one thing we can do, and the one thing we strive to do, is to get the person who did this.
Debbie's killer proceeded to terrorize Fresno and Tulare County for the next 6 years. The DNA found on Debbie's body was tied to at least 8 other assault cases between 1996 and 2002.
We feel he's a predator. You never know when he's going to get the urge to hit again. You never know if he's going to escalate or whether he's going to go back to something else. He could strike at any time.
There is some very evil, demented predator out there.
He kept hurting people. The DNA from my apartment was tied to at least 8 more assault cases between 1996 and 2002. 8 more women. 8 more moments where someone who seemed ordinary enough turned into something else entirely. One of them was Beth. She stayed quiet for decades because she didn't have the words without crying. She eventually found them. She stood up in court and said, "My life changed forever that day. I tried moving on. As far as I know it, I didn't have a future. She did have a future. She made one. But she had to fight for every piece of it." When they finally came for him in 2019, he was standing in his restaurant in a mall. 2 detectives walked in and asked for Mr. Stain. He shook their hands. He chatted. He told them he hoped they found the guy. He walked them outside. The building was surrounded. He pretended not to know what was happening when they put the handcuffs on. In the interrogation room, before they could even ask about me, he started confessing to the other assaults. Just started talking. 4 women he had forced into bushes at gunpoint. 4 separate attacks he described while showing no remorse. He remembered the hoodie he wore. He said those things had been haunting him. He said he did wrong. When they finally brought up my name, when they showed him my photograph, he said he had never seen me. Then he thought about it. Then he said he knew me quite intimately, that I had found my way to his workplace, that everything between us was consensual. I was not there to tell them otherwise.
I did wrong, okay? And even the things that I did back, in here in Visalia, that those things are haunting me forever. But the thing in Fresno there, I didn't know that went down. I didn't know that happened. I didn't feel remorse for that or anything like that or anything because I didn't know that it happened.
Nikki Stain is the primary suspect in the rape and murder of Debbie Dorian.
Nikki Stain is every woman's nightmare. He appears to be a regular person, and he is a predator.
I don't know if Debbie's family will ever have closure. My hope, our hope, is at the very least we have provided answers to the family, and the person responsible for these unimaginable crimes will finally feel the total weight of our Justice Department. Thank you.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Can you hear me, Nick?
Yeah, I can hear you. You know what? Those hurting people and things like that was in my past. I know I need to get punished for it. I just know that I'll be here the rest of my life.
Nick left little room for interpretation as he confessed to his crimes, but his friend couldn't seem to grasp what he was saying.
But you're innocent till you're proven guilty in my book. You know what you did. We don't. We're going to say that you're innocent until they prove otherwise, in my opinion. That's the way America works.
Hello?
Hello, Mom.
Are you innocent of any of those crimes?
No, not really, Mom. I was kind of like involved in all of them. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. You know, I did some bad things. I'm not trying to kind of like hide them. You know, I mean, I'm ashamed of them, but, you know, they're there now. So it's just like, you know, quit running from it. Just take it.
He said 20 years ago, he had done some bad things and hurt some people, and he needed to pay for what he did. She said that he had been struggling with demons all his life, and he said, I can't say I don't deserve what's coming to me, because I do.
From jail, he called his mother. She asked if he was innocent of the crimes. He said, no, not really, Mom. I was kind of involved in all of them. I'm guilty. I did some bad things. I'm not trying to hide them. I'm ashamed of them. Just quit running from it. Just take it. She asked again. He said, I'm guilty. The prosecutors played that call in court.
By number 6, it has the name Nick and then scratched out or Rick.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And could you point at him and tell me what color he's wearing?
Right now?
Yes.
Red.
It was so shocking to me that I knew I had to maintain composure somewhat and not just fall apart.
In May of 2025, 29 years after he taped my mouth shut and walked out of my apartment, Nikki Stain stood in a courtroom and pleaded guilty. First-degree murder, sexual battery by restraint, guilty. All of it, guilty. His attorney said he was taking accountability. His family said he wanted to spare the victims a trial. My family knew the truth. He did it to avoid the death penalty. But my mother stood at that podium anyway and read what she had written in my voice. The adrenaline, the screaming, the duct tape, the dark, and then she said, though he took my precious Deb, he did not take my soul.
For decades, Central California has known her only as Jane Doe number 1, a victim. But she is a survivor, one of several women Nikki Stain assaulted after he killed Debbie Dorian in 1996.
And I stayed quiet, I didn't know the words to express without crying.
Court hearings were slow and forced her to relive her pain. She has found comfort in a therapy dog.
Dogs are so calming.
Even with a mountain of evidence against them, Nick's defense team claimed that he never explicitly confessed to Debbie's murder, even during the jailhouse phone calls, suggesting that this was just a repeat of what happened with Maurice Dixon. On the stand, Fresno County detectives wouldn't even admit that Maurice Dixon's arrest was a mistake.
So that's a mistake.
I'm not going to say it's a mistake now.
You refuse to say that arresting the wrong man on faulty lab work is a mistake? Did you get the right
He
guy?
was eventually cleared.
Yeah, so he was the wrong guy.
The defendant is held to answer on all counts and charges.
Life without the possibility of parole. He is at the California Medical Facility in Vacaville. He will die there. My mother planted a tree the Christmas after I was killed. It's 50 feet tall now, 3 feet around at the base. She said it reminds her of how long they waited. I had plans, a career in audiology, a hike with John, a wedding my dad was going to walk me down the aisle for, a life that had momentum and direction and people in it who loved me enough to wait 29 years for a guilty plea and still feel like justice was only some of what they deserved.
First-degree murder.
Guilty.
Sexual battery by restraint. Guilty or no contest?
Guilty, sir.
He pled guilty not just to avoid the death penalty, but to be accountable and also for the families not to have to go through a trial.
He admitted to what he did, and we don't have to prove it or argue it or debate it. It's done.
We asked what Dorian would think.
She's going, Yahoo, Mom. Yeah.
My life changed forever that day. I tried moving on. I have tried to forget, to be every man was him. I was always scared, having these thoughts in my head and flashbacks. The night playing over and over again in my head. I didn't care about my future. As far as I knew it, I didn't have one.
I have suffered days, months, and years of pain. 29 Christmases and almost 29 birthdays. The first thing you think of when you wake up is, Deb is dead. How do you live when a joy of your life has been extinguished?
She then read a passage that she had written from Debbie's perspective.
Adrenaline flooded my body. I screamed and screamed, but he didn't stop. He wrapped my head in duct tape, covering my mouth. I couldn't breathe. Everything went dark. I knew my life was over. I would never take a hike with John, the love of my life, spend time with my mom. I wouldn't have a wedding. I wouldn't be a beautiful bride. My dad wouldn't walk me down the aisle. I knew my death would break my mom's heart and change my dad forever. The pain that they suffer is deeper than anyone can know.
Despite the tragic circumstances, she ended her impact statement with a silver lining.
Though he took my precious Deb, he did not take my soul. I am wiser and stronger than ever from having to go through this ordeal. He has the rest of his life to pay for what he did, and he will pay for his evil actions.
At this point, sir, you are remanded in the custody of Frederick County Sheriff to begin serving your time.
You know, I planted a tree the Christmas after Deborah was killed, and that tree is 50 feet tall and 3 feet around. That's a long time to grow. It reminds me of how long it's been that we've been working on this case.
After decades of pain, perseverance, and unwavering determination, we can finally say that justice, at least some kind of justice, has been served for Debbie Dorian and her family and the other survivors of the monster that is Nikki Stain.
My mom tells me she loves me every day. She said she thinks I know. I do. I was 22 years old with a list on my kitchen counter and a future I was building one careful decision at a time. His name was on the list, and I opened the door. If Debbie's story stayed with you, 29 years, a guilty plea, a mother reading her daughter's last moments out loud in a courtroom, then you already know this channel is doing something different. Like the video, subscribe, share it with one person who needs to hear a story told the right way. These cases deserve more than a headline. Drop the next one in the comments. I'll see you there.
Well, I tell her I love her every day, so I think she knows. And, you know, you miss seeing her wedding. You miss seeing the holidays. You miss, what did she grow up? What would she look like? You know, she was a feisty, wonderful person. You knew when Deb came in the room, she was beautiful. And, yeah, that's just the way she was. Yeah.